Okay, good evening, everyone. I'm Sarah. Tonight I'm here with Luis, Osvaldo, Erica, and Marcus. And we're going to talk a little bit about inconvenient questions. If you want to know more how to join this type of conversation, which is not a class, just a conversation among friends, you can click on the links on the comments for this video, okay, and join. So it's always a pleasure meeting new people and having chance to study English together. I'm Sarah, by the way. I'm going to be hosting this meeting. I've been a host here since 2022. I live in Laos with my family. In my free time, I like to go to the beach, read, and currently I work in finance for an American company, so I use English every day. So that's one of the reasons I've been studying to improve my career and develop my skills, right? So, as I said, we're going to discuss inconvenient questions. And the second question is, what makes a question inconvenient or uncomfortable for someone to answer? Osvaldo, what do you think?
Well, in my opinion, depend of the context. Maybe the person are asking about inconvenient question. Maybe he didn't think if that question was inconvenient, but I know that we are uh, adult person and we need to think about before asking or answer some question. Yeah, I think in summary that's it. And how about you, Luis?
That's it.
Man, I think inconvenient
Yeah.
questions came from inconvenient people. I try to stay away from this kind of personality, but sometimes it's happened, and when it's happened, I'm not still surprised because I am on this road for long miles away, so I know how to handle that. Uh, I can be a little bit rude when it comes to happens inconvenient, but I know how to handle it. But it's really annoying. It's really boring when we talk to people that have this kind of behavior. But sometimes in our jobs, we can face that uh, for some people, and you have to be polite uh, in this kind of environment. Uh, I think that's it about I have to say.
But let me ask you something. If you had to define like inconvenient person or inconvenient question, how would you do that? Like, what's the behavior? What type of subject, maybe?
I don't know. If you're gonna know a lot of things about my life, I will think it about inconvenience because we don't know each other, you know. You don't have to do this kind of questions for people that you are not a close friend. So that's depend of the environment. I think that's it. I have some examples, but probably we have cast questions about that, and I will talk about it in the future.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just wanted to understand your mind a little bit more. Can you choose some? Can
Can
you
you
choose someone? No, the
choose
next part.
another person? Oh, ladies first, Erica, please.
Thank you. Um, in my opinion, personal questions can be sometimes inconvenient and people can feel uncomfortable. For example, many women don't like that you ask, how old is she? Another situation is about when you ask about intimacy. You are not close to other person, but you ask something about his feeling. I don't know, maybe. And another kind of situation that people can feel uncomfortable when you add something about when you get unemployed and some people ask you, why did you lose your job? Or you lose your baby. But what happened? So I think it's not about people that the personality is inconvenient. But sometimes you can be inconvenient, but you don't know to um, how to manage the situation, because sometimes you talk a lot and you forget the good behavior. Some you can be disrespect if someone, but I think you should understand another people and try to feel the situation, because sometimes people say something to me and people think, oh, that's okay, it's not a problem, but I not feel comfortable in this kind of situation. So I think very personal questions can make people feel uncomfortable. How about you, Marcos?
Thanks, Erica. I totally agree with you. I said all you said, because I believe we have a lot of people that don't have no sense for asking anything for another people. If you don't have intimacy, you don't have to make some questions. Uh, Maybe one example, another different is about sexuality. Is it's very personal. If you don't, there are some people don't have so comfortable to talk about sexuality with another people. Is so complicated. So man, if you don't have intimacy with another people, don't ask about something sexuality or be like that, is very discomfortable, is very complicated.
I agree. Really, it's one of my fears to be inconvenient, and don't know about that. Maybe I'm thinking that I'm doing the right thing and I'm asking something that is okay to ask, but the other person is feeling kind of uncomfortable and it's creating like a negative environment, so I try to be aware of that and how I'm talking to other people, and if that's something I should be asking or not. And just to add on what you guys mentioned, what I totally agree about being personal, about asking personal questions, maybe about weight, about the people's bodies. It's also something that I'd say is inconvenient because it's none of our business, right? And usually, if the person, let's say that this person has gained a lot of weight, could be something about health, a psychological situation. This person has lost weight, could also be not only a diet, but a problem this person is going through. So I think we should be very sensitive with that. So it's important to make sure you are not crossing any lines, I'd say. Okay, so that was number 2. What about number 3? Can asking inconvenient questions be justified? If so, in what context? Please, I want to know from you. What do you think?
Justify inconvenient questions, I think is a little bit difficult because I don't see a type of context that these things can happen. Sometimes you can justify about the age. For an example, the father of my wife, we always, when we are together, he always stay with your smartphone and, hey, see these videos. And there's a time that I say, man, I don't want to see your phone, your videos on your phone. I hate videos on your phone. Let's talk about the other things. I don't care about it. This is a little bit inconvenient sometimes. And sometimes you have to say that because the people think it's funny. Oh, you have a really great moment is to see this video. No, I don't want to see videos and so on. Please, I stay on the screen all of my day. I hate screens in environments that are not working. So there are a lot of examples, but justify. I don't know. I don't know if you can justify inconvenient questions. Maybe in an interview in a human resource, then they are talking about if you have any problems with the justice, but I think it's not an inconvenience question for the situation. I think it could be normal in that way. I think that's it. Do you agree?
It can be a delicate subject, right, to ask this in interviews. I understand what you mean, but also sometimes you gotta know.
Sometimes you have this kind of questions, but in this context, okay.
There's a lot of polemic about these questions people get asked, especially women, in interviews, but I'm not gonna say much more. Osvaldo, go ahead.
Well, I will talk a little bit about my leader view. Some times ago, he was talking about the questions that he used to ask the people in interviews, and in his opinion, it doesn't matter about your personal life, where the person is lived, or what let me see, about sexuality or relationship. In his opinion, it's important as about the way that the person look for how that job could be important for him or her, or how much knowledge that person has, right? So, for example, I had some interview that the person asked me about my relationships, or where I lived, and so on. And my opinion, only in my opinion, I agree with these thoughts, because the most important things, my opinion, I'm based in my area, it's important if you really wanna get that job, and what knowledge you have in that moment, and where do you want to go, right? Yeah, I think that's it in summary. So yeah, I consider myself a quiet person on the most of time, but when I am with confident people, I like to talk in some terms, I would like to say. Yeah, I think that's it. And for you, Marcos?
So to me, I believe it don't have question be justified. For example, in this case about interview, my last interview, they asked me about religion and politics, and it's very dangerous this kind of question in the interview because you don't know the position your future boss, I know. And I lie it because I don't know what's the correct answer, right? And it was very dangerous. And I passed in this interview. I discovered that he very strong political mind, and maybe if I said different projects that he follow, maybe I didn't pass in this interview. So it's very complicated. Sometimes we have to make some dar uma de maluco and say something that you can agree with another if all the people vote press. Another thing you say your real position, right? And you give your opinion, real opinion about this. It's very complicated this moment. And you, Erica?
In my opinion, inconvenient questions could be justified, but in what context? For example, when you go to the doctor does many questions to us for find out diagnosis and for choosing the better treatment for us. So I think in this context could be justified. Another one, when you are teenagers, I think our parents in some moments did inconvenient questions to us, and I think everyone should how to manage this kind of situation because it's real. You happen in your life in your whole life. And but I agree if we Osvaldo and Marcos about the interview. For example, for us humans, Sarah, in some interviews, it's so common to ask you, you have kids? Ah, yes. How old are they? If your kids get sick, who you treat them? So I think it's not about the position of job that I would like to get, but it's so common in our interview. This kind of questions are done for human. So I think some kind of questions can be justified, but another one, but other don't. That's all. How about you, Sarah?
Great points. I totally understand what you're saying. My last job was I had this type of question asked about relationships, about having kids, and it turned out to be a very negative place. Like they didn't even pay the salary on the right day, so it was very complicated.
Oh
And
my goodness.
it's like
Oh my goodness.
really a red flag when they ask questions that are too personal, But in this job that I'm right now, they didn't even ask about that. It was just about first professional experiences, and it's much better. So yeah, I agree. And talking about this healthy situation, like Erica mentioned, that is a joke that I make with my friends that I do, I don't know. That is because when you go donate blood, there is always a lot of questions about your sexual life, about uh, the partners and so on. And I'm like, oh my God, that I came here to help and I'm being humiliated because they are asking this. And my answers are so like, no, I don't do anything. I'm boring. I'm just here to donate blood, So just one context can be inconvenient. I don't want to talk with a person that I never seen before about sex, if I'm having sex or not. But in this context, it's important. It's necessary, so it's inconvenient in some way, but it's like it doesn't hurt. After it passes, okay, move on with your life. It's not a huge problem. Okay, I was thinking we could, because I don't want to repeat with the question, and sometimes this can happen. So maybe number 6. Let's try this one. Marcus, can you read number 6? And share some opinions about it? And your kid as well. Can read.
Sure. How should one respond when they are asked an inconvenient question that they don't want to answer? How should one they are asking an inconvenient question that they don't want to answer? It's very complicated, right? I don't know if I understand correctly the question, but if puts me in this situation, if someone asks me some convenient question, I don't know. I don't know. I'm very how can I say this? I'm a person very calm and I don't care about a lot of things. I don't fight a lot about any things about complicated subjects, but some asking, like I said, I answer this my way. But I thinking a lot what I can answer about inconvenient question. I don't know if I really will answer or not, and I don't know if I answer correct now, but I believe that. And you, Luis, can help me?
Luis knows everything. Go ahead, Luis.
Yes, for sure. I have faced this kind of situation in the past, in different moments and different environments. Sometimes I look like crazy and make it as the politicians, giving an answer that had nothing relation about the questions, And after that, oh, wait a minute, I'm coming there and I will be back. Yeah, I never come back again. But there's a special a special moment that I remember. I think it's 2 years ago. I started to make a freelance job to manage a client from an agency. And the owners are my closest friends. And hey, Louis, we are having problems with this client and with the goals and the performance. Can you manage that with all the team? For us, we have to grow, and your experience will be very important. That's right. And when I saw the scenario on the backstage, it was terrible, and I started to buy a lot of process that they don't have, And after 2 weeks, appears a person in the Slack saying, "Hey, Louis, it's a pleasure to talk with you. I am Marcos. Oh, Marcos, how are you doing? Oh, I'm fine. I want to making a meeting with you to talking about the clients that you are managing. Oh, that's right. And what's your position? Oh, I'm the general manager. Oh, you are really the general manager. Manager. Wow, I'm a close friends from the two guys. I don't remember the name now. And they don't talking about nothing that they have general manager, but it will be a pleasure to talk with you. And we start the conversation. The guys, hey, and about your earns, what's the values that you make your content? I really start to see your face and I say, man, the values are not the objective of this conversation. It's it's a deal that I made with your boss. We don't have to talk about that. But I said it in a calm and in a polite way, and we started to have another conversation of the things, and in a moment he asking again. Yeah, but I really need to know about your earns. And then I say, man, it's not your business. I don't have any business with you. I have the business with your boss. We don't have to talk about it. Forget this idea. Stay concentrated on the clients. Forget about my earns. I will not talk about it with you, you know. And after that, I think he entered in a switch mode, and we're going to finish our conversation. But I have to say that because the people don't have sense, you know? It happens. Shit happens.
Or talking with a smile, like you talked to us, it wasn't so uncomfortable, right? You have a good vibe, so probably this helps.
Yeah. I'm a funny people, but don't put a little piece of wood near to the lion, you know, is a popular debate here.
Oh, yeah, but I kind of get the whole idea.
Yeah, it's like that's not really equal, but it's like that.
And you, Erica, what do you think? Number 6.
Yes. I think a good way to respond this kind of question, this inconvenient question, is saying to other people, why are you asking me this question? What your goals? I don't know. And sometimes when I feel uncomfortable with some kind of question, I just say I don't feel comfortable if this question, so I wouldn't reply to you. And sometimes I can say it's not your business, because some people are so inconvenient that they ask you the same question one, two, three times, and I try to avoid this. But there is no the perfect way to respond this kind to manage this kind of the situation. But I think you should only say that you feel uncomfortable, and for people didn't ask you again about the inconvenient topic. How about you, Osvaldo?
Yeah, and I try to add some note about after you, Erica. I try to change a little bit, change some words in my answer to try not answer that question, you know. I try to keep calm in the first time. The first thing that I want to do is to keep my mind as calming as possible, and if possible, if it is possible, I try to answer with different words, trying not to answer that question. And in some situations, like Luis said about the that a big inconvenient question, I have to say that that question mustn't mustn't have in that context. Well, and to finish my speaking, last week I've deceived in my side project. I've been worked on a side project for a year and 3 months, you know, and I figured out I was deceived. The partners that side project talk with themselves back me, you know, and they decided to cut ties with my partners without give a chance to talk about about I don't know what the topic. And after I was asked to say my price, the price that my work, and I said a price, and in the next meeting, we were talking. They were talking that they don't pay me that value. They said to me um, um, a few earning about that, because that was a partner, to start, I wouldn't a freelancer job, it would be a partner. So like that people have made that with me, I decided to cobrar. I don't know how can I say cobrar. And it was a big inconvenient question, and I will go to find the judiciary assistance to solve that problem, because I have a good elements to get learning about that. Yeah, I think that's it. It is recent.
Once you win this money, you can let us know so we can share it. It's not a problem for me. Once you win the
Okay.
cost.
Yeah, no, the most important thing, it wasn't the money. It was the way that they decided to cut tie with me, it was the problem, because I have been called the person that cut tie with me. It was hard to listen, but I know in business sometimes these things happens, but we have to try to solve that situations in the right way as possible.
Okay. I'd be very upset, just like you. Okay. So about this one, just to add something I want to try. I don't know if you heard or saw this video, but it's like whenever somebody asks you a very inconvenient question, like, "Oh, you are so, you gained so much weight. What happened?" And you say, "Oh, because my boyfriend broke up with me and he cheated on me and I was very depressed." Like you make up a whole story, then the person will become very uncomfortable. Like it doesn't have to be true, just to make them feel like they shouldn't be asking anything ever again, So just creating a little bit of drama, maybe this can uh, make people become more aware of their questions, and maybe they are gonna, oh my gosh, maybe I shouldn't be asking this. I'm gonna reflect on my actions. I don't know. I've never tried, but it could be effective. Who knows?
I didn't try this way. I will never spend my time telling a history for people that are making these kind of questions.
Like with the Uber driver, you're never gonna see him or her again, probably, so you can create a character just for fun. I don't know. Sometimes my mind works.
Just for fun, it was good.
Yeah. So number 7. Erica, can you read this one? Share
Sure.
some thoughts.
Do cultural difference play a role in what is considered an inconvenient question? How so? When you compare Brazilian culture to American and European cultures, are totally different, of course. And here in Brazil, you wouldn't feel comfortable to talk about money. So when you get your income, your salary, you're improving your quality of life, your standard of life, I think is better. You didn't share this this position, this high position in your life to others, because here in Brazil, you feel ashamed to say, oh, I'm getting my money, I getting my car, my business, my own business, because maybe you can feel other person or other people can be like think you are how can I say exhibition, ostentation about you. So it's about a inconvenient question in Brazil to talk about money, and no one will ask you about how much do you get this month in your job. It's impossible in Brazil. No one will ask you about this. You can ask you about kids, what's your religion, what's your candidate in the politician, what your favorite politician. But about money, I think our Brazilian people, our culture, this kind of question is so inconvenient for everyone, but in other cultures, don't. How about you, Marcos? What about your opinion?
Yeah, I agree with you. In my company, if you ask how the other people getting within the salary, and man, you can start a war in the world because it's complicated. Because imagine in my team, we are in 35 analysts, right? So in different, in junior, plano, and senior. But in the same level, for example, in the plano, I'm plano nowadays, but we have different salaries in this level. So it's very complicated. But there are people that come and start now that win more that another people that have 10 years working in the company. Man, It's a is a is a war if you are asking about salary. And I believe this culture can be uh, how can I say uh, make it make it different. Like you said, in another country, maybe it is very normal. You talk about money or about another thing that I don't know more in the difference. But I believe I totally agree. The cultural difference can be a one how can I say a motive to be considered an inconvenient question for you or for another people. What do you think, Osvaldo?
Yeah, I agree with you and Erica. And I add another example, sexuality. In my opinion, some cultures, some countries, some people talk free about this topic. And in Brazil, for example, this topic is a taboo. And I can understand this, but it is another good example about how the different cultures make us what things we can to talk about. I don't know exactly, but I think if we talking about eat meat, for example, in India, maybe we could be fired. Maybe India or I don't remember what country that country believes that vaca. I don't know how can I say vaca. Vaca could be ancestral. I don't know how can I say ancestral again. So yeah, I think that's it. And for you, Luis,
You can talk about barbecue in the India, right?
no. If you talking about barbecue, that people we will fight with you for sure, for sure.
Man, there's a program on TV on the channel off, and there is a girl. She's so crazy. She going to travel along for different cultures from India, Egypt. It's really interesting. But about the question, I saw it in person yesterday when I went to the beach. I'm going to a point of the beach that I go there with my friends for more than 30 years. And we know all each other. The beach is ours. One of my friends had a school class, a surf school there, you know, and people's coming there and asking about that if you have a board to rent, if we can teach a surf class, that kind of thing. But yesterday we have really good waves here in here. The time was perfect. We have not too much wind, and it was a beautiful day with nice waves. And comes a guy from Scotland, and when she stayed near from the surf school, my friend is going to talk with her, but she don't speak English, you know. And he was trying to express himself, and I entered to help. Wait. It's difficult to understand even when he speaks Portuguese. So stay calm. What do you want? The guy from Scotland said, "No, my name is Eddie, and I want to rent a surfboard. For the you have a level, you want intermediate, beginner, advanced." No, I'm an intermediate. I surf in Scotland, but I have we surfed in a water with 6 degrees. It's like, oh my God, this is the paradise for him. The guy watching the conversation, this friend of mine that I said, and she say, where are he from? He wants to know where the guys are from, but they are not talking in this kind of way that I'm talking to you. They are talking in imperative mode, you know. Where are you from? The gringo stay a little bit in panic. Eu falei, forget it, stay calm, pick your board, and go there. Different cultures, you know. Sometimes he talks like that with us, that we are friends, you know, how they have your behavior. We know him for more than 30 years, but for a strange person from a different culture, it's so hard to understand that kind of situation. My friend just wants to know about where the guy is from and about the money. Just no, man. You have to stay here and make a beach culture to involve the peoples for peoples coming here and stay together. If you're at school, you have to make friends. This is it gonna be a friendly place, not a hosted place, you know. It was really fun. I laugh a lot about that yesterday.
I can imagine that.
But it's the language barrier can be very tricky, and it's not only the phrases, but also body language, voice.
Expression, yeah, the
Or
tone, the expression, yeah.
it's a complicated thing, you know.
Yeah,
It's not.
imagine here in Rio that everyone talk in a loud voice, so far from each other. Hey, give me this kind. I hate that. But we have here, Marcus know how it is. People talk always in a loud voice, and I hate that. I really hate that. But what can I do?
It's very rich, but sometimes can be rude. It can come out rude, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see.
It's
Can
7
make
minutes.
or 5 more minutes with a final question. Okay, number 8. Can avoiding inconvenient questions lead to larger problems in personal or professional relationships? Like, let me change the question a little bit. You think there are some inconvenient questions that we should answer because they are necessary? I want volunteers to answer this one.
You reformulate it, do, can avoid inconvenient questions. What kind of inconvenient questions you made in a situation or no?
No,
Can you
do
repeat?
do you think there are some type of inconvenient questions that we should answer because they're necessary, like something we cannot run from, you know?
Yeah, I remember another another moment that I started to going out with a girl, and he asked me about, do you have an HIV exam? And I said, no, I don't have an HIV exam. Why? She asked me about. Because I don't have enough yet. How do you know? Oh, come on.
I think she was thinking you was a garanhão, maybe.
No, she's a girl that I know for many years, and after a big period, she disappeared. And I meet him again in Búzios, and I say, "Oh, what's amazing? I meet you again. What happened? No, I was studying too much to a public contest. Then I stay to studying for 4 years. I make the first contest, and I didn't pass. I make it again, and I didn't pass. And now I'm passing. Oh, wow! Let's go and celebrate." And we go to celebrate. Yeah, we take our closest friend again, and it's going to be a flirt. And in a moment, she asked me about that, and I don't know. I think I'm not, but I can do the exam, no problem for me. Would you like to go with me?
I
And
see.
we come together to make the exam.
Or weird
That's right. That's right. Let's go in together.
Which was
No problem.
our intentions.
Yeah.
To Marcus. Osvaldo.
Yeah, I think sometimes it could be important talking about inconvenient things, mainly in relationships. But in this context, it doesn't matter what kind of relationships, you know, if you are talking about it with your leader or near partner or teammate. I think it's important to talk about something, mainly in lovely relationships, I would say. It's important. I don't like to talk about something in my relationship, but sometimes it's important. And I need to talk a little bit about that, but with the right way, you know? Yeah, that's it.
What do you think, Marcus? 1 minute for you. Or less, I don't know.
Thanks. So I would say that I avoid talk about religion in my company because I avoid not because in 35 people just me is Umbanda and everyone doesn't, and it's so complicated to talk about this because no one believe in my religion, so it's complicated. I avoid this.
Maybe. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you for sharing. Erica.
I agree with you all, and and I think it's important you reply some inconvenient questions. If it's good for you for your know about your mind, your feelings. So some kind of questions you can grow with them. That's it. Thank you.
Therapy, right? Could be an example. Yeah. Thank you, guys. We don't have more time left, unfortunately, but hope to see you next week. Okay? Take care.
Thank you. Good
Hi,
evening.
guys. It was
Bye-bye.
a pleasure. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye,
See
guys.
you.
Thank you.